The farm cooperative. Mmm, what's that good smell? Dick was stirring in his sleep, half dreaming. Slowly his eyes began to open and he blinked hard a few times. Where am I? He asked himself. Just then he heard a faint little meow, and he was suddenly wide awake. I am at Grandpa's house. Hey, Tommy, get up, quick! At the sound of voices, the mewing became louder in the box beside that bed. The boys lifted the lid, and there was Raggle-Taggle, wide awake and ready for his morning milk. Mmm, there was a good smell again. Why, Grandma must have breakfast cooked already. Down the stairs they bounded, boys and kittens together. Sure enough, Grandma had breakfast ready, and Grandpa was coming in with a bucket full of nice, fresh milk. Listen, you city dandies, teased Grandpa. Don't you know that you have to get up early on the farm, stay in bed till sunrise, and you miss half the fun? Where are those lazy girls? They heard the girls giggling and chattering in their room. The boys called them to hurry, for they were nearly starved to death. About that time, Raggle-Taggle reminded them again that he was starved too. So his saucer was filled with fresh, warm milk. He choked and sputtered a bit at first, but in a moment the little pink tongue was flashing in and out, drawing the milk in a steady stream. Soon the breakfast table was surrounded by a circle of freshly washed, beaming faces. Grandpa got down his big Bible again. After he read a scripture, all closed their eyes and bowed their heads while Grandpa prayed. He thanked God for giving them this good food. He asked that God would please not let any accident happen to Mother and Daddy as they drove back home. Now they found out that Grandma's cooking tasted just as good as it smelled. She seemed to know exactly what hungry boys and girls like to eat. To top it all off was a great big bowl of red strawberries with plenty of thick, fresh cream. Yum. The children thought, eating is going to be good at Grandma's house this summer. Mother and Daddy had to be on their way right after breakfast. So after many goodbyes and promises to be good, the children waved until the car was out of sight. Now let's all go into the house for a council meeting, said Grandma. A council meeting? That sounds like Indians. Indians' war council, the boys whooped and danced around. When everyone had settled down, Grandma explained her plan. 5 boys and girls means lots of cooking, washing, ironing, and cleaning up. How would you like to fix up job sheets? Job sheets? What's that? Chorused the boys. Why don't you know that? The girls felt very superior. They had heard their father speak of job sheets in connection with their work. Grandma brought out big sheets of paper, pencils, and rulers. Each one put your name at the top of your page, she instructed. Then I'll show you how to divide it all up into little squares, and we'll write one job in front of each row of squares. With her help, they busily fixed their sheets. Then they decided on the jobs. Each one was to make beds, take care of dishes, clothes, and keep things clean in his own room, or her own room. They could set the table, do dishes, sweep floors, and prepare vegetables and fruits. With everybody doing a share, Grandma wouldn't get all tired out and would have time to cook some special things for them. She said they could even help her plan what to cook, and that idea suited them just fine. When the job sheets were fixed, they fastened them on the wall. Then they set to work doing the jobs written on their sheets. When the work was finished, they checked it off in the proper square. Grandma was an official inspector. She would check to see if the work was well done and would put a little OK in the corner of the square. They all wanted to earn a sheet full of Grandma's neat little OKs. At noon, Grandpa came in saying he was hungry as a bear and asking if the little bears had anything for him to eat. They crowded around him, all talking at once. Here, here, help. Grandpa threw up his hands. I didn't mean for the little bears to eat me for their dinner. They laughed, but kept talking excitedly. Job sheets, job sheets. Now what in the world are you talking about? What would you children know about job sheets? Come and we'll show you. They led him to where the sheets were fastened to the wall and proudly pointed out Grandma's little OKs. Well now, if that isn't the cleverest idea I ever did see. I'm telling you, your Grandma is just as smart a lady as I know. Grandpa smiled a big smile at Grandma, and she smiled back, and they twinkled their eyes at each other. Everybody was happy to sit down to eat the wonderful dinner they had all helped to fix. No one said anything for a while because they were so busy enjoying the good food. Finally, Grandpa spoke. You know, I've been thinking, why can't I get in on this big organization? I hate to be left out of anything, and don't you think, Grandpa went on, that something so important ought to have a name? Yes, the children agreed enthusiastically. What shall it be? And they tried hard to think of a good name. How about calling it the Farm Cooperative, suggested Grandpa. A farm what? Dick's face was all twisted. Oh, I like it, said Margie. It sounds big and important and mysterious. What does it mean, Grandpa? Dick insisted. Well, Grandpa explained carefully. It means we all join something, and each one does his very best to make it a success. To cooperate means to work together smoothly. Then it's just the perfect name for us, Margie announced emphatically. That's exactly what we are going to do, work together. All heads nodded in agreement. Grandpa pulled a pencil out of his pocket and got up from the table. If I'm going to be in this business, could I add a few chores to the job sheets too? Oh, yes, yes. And they wondered if he would let them do something exciting, like milking the cow or driving the horses. By the way, I nearly forgot something very important, and Grandpa sat down again, looking quite serious. You see, no organization is good without some rules, or nobody knows what to do. Then first thing we know, everything is in a terrible mess. So hadn't we better make some rules? Rules. Let's make some rules, chimed in the boys. Now listen, this is very important, said Grandpa, and he shook a warning finger at them. One of the first rules on all farms is to keep every gate closed so that the animals can't get out. Do you understand? He glanced meaningfully from one to another. They all promised, yes, we'll remember. Keep gates closed. They were sure it would be easy to remember that one rule. Now, the clock says it's time for me to go back to work, so we'll have to finish our plans tonight. Don't forget about the gates, Grandpa called back as he went out to work. We won't forget, they faithfully promised him once more.